This is going to be a part 2 video of how to get an OG PSN, but it's going to be more in detail and it's going to include 4 parts. So there are 3 main ways how people get OG PSNs. The first way is called cracking. Now it's a very old method and it isn't as good because you need a date of birth. Now, what people do is they figure out how to bypass a date of birth or they pay someone for it, right? But another way is you could use a PlayStation support chat bot and reset the password that way. But you need the name of the PSN and access to the OG email. Now, there's 2 ways how people crack PSNs, right? So the first way is they'll have some type of program on their computer and they'll have a bunch of emails and passwords trying to get into like an OG PSN email that way. Another way is, for example, let's say you're trying to get the OG PSN God, right? And let's say the email is god@gmail.com and it's uncreated. That's another way. And all you have to do is, like I said before, use a PlayStation support chat bot. And since you already have access to the email and the name, you're set. You don't need a date of birth bypass or anything like that. Now, the second way is called social engineering. What people would do, right, is they'll use the PlayStation support chat or they'll call and they'll give them a sob story. They'll be like, hey, my PS3 broke. I don't have access to OG email. And it's a little bit harder. You have to get lucky, right? It all depends on the rep. And that's one way people get OG PSNs. Now, the third way, this is the hardest, is they'll find someone and they'll pay the someone that works at PlayStation support. And for example, let's say for every OG PSN they sell, they give them, let's say, 50% of what they sell. So let's say they sell OG PSN for, let's say, $1,000. They give that rep 500 and you keep 500. The second thing I'm going to talk about is where do I find someone that's trusted? Now, this is very important because there's a lot of scammers out there. Now, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. And the other problem is there's been times where people that have been middlemans, you never know when they'll do this, right? Is they'll switch up and they'll basically, it's called beaming out. Scamming, beaming, it means the same thing. You just got beamed or this and that. It's a term that a lot of scammers used back in the day, beam lord and whatnot, right? So for OG PSNs and whatnot, no one's going to accept PSN or PayPal. Everyone nowadays, they use crypto. Some people use Cash App, right? And other methods, but most likely people are going to use crypto. Now, the reason people use crypto is because you can't refund the money and it's not traceable. You know what I mean? So you can't get in trouble with the law. They'll find out, whatnot. There's probably ways they can still find out, but it's very secure and people can't refund. You know what I mean? The person selling won't get scammed, basically. Now, it's one thing that I highly suggested, when I made the part 1 video, is you have to do research. A lot of people don't do research and they get real impatient. They go try to buy OG PSN and they may get it scammed, like let's say $200, $500, right? And the second thing that's worse that happens is, let's say they'll have the OG PSN for like a year. They might have it for a couple months and the person pulls back the PSN, right? So then you already put, not just buying that OG PSN, let's say it was $500, you lost that money, but putting effort, playing games, leveling up, adding people, knowing people. And let's say you put $100 into that PSN. So now you're out of more money. So I would suggest, most people, they'll be on Instagram. I know a lot of people, I feel like they'll be on Discord and Telegram. Now, I don't use Telegram, but like I said, there's a lot of scammers out there. You have to ask a bunch of people, right? And you have to do a lot of research. Now, when I say research, you have to, if you don't know anything, even if you think you know like a decent amount, you have to at least do like a year research because, like I said, there's so many ways, different methods, how to secure, how to not get scammed, how to find scammers, right? Got to ask around, hey, is this guy a scammer, this guy? And a lot of the scammers, they have a lot of friends, right? They'll lie for them. They'll Photoshop, they'll fake stuff, conversations. You know, they might have been it might have been a real deal, right? Where but thanks, you're very I can vouch for you. 10 out of 10, the service was good, right? But they'll still later on they'll pull back that account. You know what I mean? So, like I said before, where do you buy OG PSN? Most of them people that sell them, they'll be on Instagram, Discord, Telegram, or some type of like website that sells them. But like I said, you have to be careful because there's a lot of scammers out there. They can fake their vouchers, Photoshop stuff. You know, they all work together. And the last important thing is that some people might not know is how do you secure PSN? Now, what people do is they'll compromise it. You know, they'll call multiple times, but that doesn't guarantee it'll be secure, right? Because a couple years ago, it got really fucking bad. Now, a lot of people were getting PlayStation support reps, and I'm not joking. People were jacking 3 letters, 4 letters, OG, semi, OG PSNs. It got real. It got so fucking bad. Sony started firing a bunch of PlayStation reps because they started noticing, something was up, and there was like a big ass bandwidth. So a bunch of OGs and 3 letter PSNs and whatnot were getting banned. And the people that were selling them for cheap, because back then, like let's say a 3 letter was like 800, $1,000, right? It was selling for like let's say 200, $300, real cheap, right? Some of them could still sell that cheap, but it all depends on the info, right? Another thing that does kind of help too is two step, but I want to say the main secure PSNs, as far as I know, like I said, I could be wrong. So no GPSN could comment down below. Is Japan? I'm pretty sure no one. There might, who knows? There might be someone that does, but not as many. Is a PSN that was made in the Japan region and the Spain region. Now, the reason I say Japan is, um, I don't think anyone has a rep from there, right? It's probably still as possible. It's very. I feel like it's harder, right? Now, the second region is Spain. Now, the only reason I say Spain is this probably the second secure one is um from what I heard is only available like 2 days out of the week. I think it's only available Saturday, Sunday. I can't confirm that if they changed that. They might be available, 24/7. I'm not so sure. Someone can comment down below that. And like I said before, is yeah, you could buy, you know, an OG PSN, but you never know. Like I said, these reps are really dumb. Like I said, it got really bad. It didn't matter what region your PSN was from, UK, Brazil, Africa, United States, Mexico, didn't matter. You could put two step. You could even tell her, hey, don't change the password, and it'll still get jacked. Right? That's how bad it was back then, and Sony was cracking down on it. But like I said, you never know. Now, if you want me to make a part three to this video, I will. I didn't get, super in detail, but I want to say I covered a lot of common questions and topics, and I did a little, deep diving, talking about some details, maybe some questions or a lot of stuff that people didn't know. But comment down below if you want me to, keep talking about like the OGPSN or anything like that.